Andrew Langstein is my Minister of Health. As an MP, he's a good MP. He works down hard in the local areas, but the biggest problem he's got is the NHS. That's something we all disagree with.
Health and Social Care Bill is the longest bill on the health service that's ever existed. It's 3 times longer than the bill to set up the NHS back in 1948. And within it, it is incredibly complex because we believe the government have been trying to hide the real issues in the bill. We call it the NHS privatisation bill because the tenure of the bill is all leading to different parts of the health service being privatised in different ways. And that is the real fear of what will happen to our NHS if this bill goes through Parliament.
As a carer, I'm very concerned about the NHS, that it'll end up down the privatisation route, and what's going to happen to young disabled people. And how the hell will they be able to afford to pay for private treatment?
Risk register, I think in a democracy to keep such an important issue to everybody, to keep everything they know about, everything they've planned for away from the public is a tragedy. It shows you that our democracy isn't actually functioning as well as it should be. If we privatise our healthcare, we're going to have a system like they have in America, where they have they have a lower life expectancy than parts of Cuba. They have a higher infant mortality rate than Cuba, which is a third world country. Socialised medicine in a third world country works very, very well.
Certainly just one of the private firms leeching from the NHS and wanting to slice the action under Lansdowne's bill. Let's keep these privateers out and the bill with it. Let's keep our NHS intact and let's keep our NHS public.
I mean, people don't realise the knock-on effects that closures of hospitals have on an ambulance service. I mean, in our area, Bridlington Hospital closed as an accident and emergency department and is now only minor injuries. So now our ambulances have to transport to Scarborough and York, which means a 2-hour round trip. You know, and if you've got somebody in cardiac arrest that you have to take to Scarborough or York, it's a half an hour run at the very least. So yes, people are going to die. It's as simple as that.
As a patient myself, I would feel unsafe going private. A person like me who's had open heart surgery, it cost them too much money to look after me. So I'd be one of many who would be overlooked in a different way, of course. I've been fortunate to survive, but at the same time I've been surviving when the NHS was safe. Now I'm really unsure where we all stand.
I think you've got doctors assembling outside the British Medical Association and marching here today, which is something that never ever happens, even under Margaret Thatcher. Something pretty big is happening.
And I'm here to support the NHS and to stop the cuts and the policies that the new government are trying to put through to destroy them, to actually turn it out to become a profit-making organisation.
Surgery is a business. It has no more commitment to patients than the Harley Medical Group who walked away from thousands of women they've been given direct threats.
There you are. If you want a good one, look.
I've lived in the UK for 30 years. I moved here from the United States and I've had to use the NHS on several occasions, and once it was for cancer. They saved my life from malignant cancer, and obviously to have my children. I've had experiences in the United States as well, and I'll give you an example of that. It was a workplace infection that I received, so I had to go into hospital and they put me in hospital. In the United States, your medical insurance is through your employer, so if you don't work, you don't have any medical insurance. Well, unbeknownst to me, or any of the other workforce, our managers for the company had actually cancelled the insurance policy. So while I was in the hospital bed, about an hour or so later, I got a phone call from the finance department saying that the insurance had been cancelled from my employer, and that if I didn't have $300 to pay them then and there, I had to leave. to cough up $300 to have my, to be taken care of.
Lansley is supposedly have had 4 years to write up this bill, and if he's written it up in 4 years, he's made that many mistakes. I mean, it was flawed from day one. Anybody who read the 300 odd pages, wasn't it? Which I did, because I was the National Officer for Health at the time. It was flawed from day one, and it could never have worked. So I don't know who's written that bill, but he had it ready. He had it ready within weeks of getting into power.
It's completely immoral to make profit out of people's illness. That's the main reason that I'm against the bill, because this is privatisation by the back door. That's going to lead to a two-tier healthcare system. That's going to mean if you're rich, you can afford to jump the queue and get to the top of the queue. If you're poor, you're going to be shafted.
The focus to be shifted from patients to profit, from care to budgets. Private companies like vultures waiting in the wings to make a killing from our health service.
Why do we vote?
And if people feel that they need to get involved, follow the people in the beginning, they do.
Most worryingly, when we talk to people about it, the most overwhelming thing has been confusion. People have heard something about it in the media, they've got no idea what it means or what the implications are. Yet when we start to talk to them about actually this could mean the whole of the NHS could be like the current NHS dentist system, they're completely horrified and they feel kept in the dark. And that's the most worrying thing. By the time people realise what the implications of this bill are, it's going to be far too late. They're going to be on the receiving end of it and they're going to be shafted. I think it's one massive step towards an American healthcare system, and like I said, is as a nurse, my code of conduct that I take very, very seriously says very explicitly that I have a duty of care to protect patients from harm, and that's why I'm here protesting today, because this bill is going to cause patients harm, and that is the main reason why I'm here today, is to try and prevent this harm from being caused.